Tuesday, March 18th. I'm Scott.
I'm Rim.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight we talk about Professor Layton and the Curious Village. Let's do this.
You know, you never really notice sometimes how bad something is until you get it replaced with a new one of that thing, and then you go, oh man, how was I using that old thing for so long? It didn't even work.
Yeah, it's like you'll have, I don't know, like I can't even think of something.
A car's a good example. I mean, you get really used to driving an old busted car, then you get a brand new car, you drive a brand new car, and you're like, oh wow, new cars go.
Yeah, it's like the quality of something is sort of relative, you know? So, like, if you have a television and you don't look at other televisions and your television works, you just, you go, what's wrong with it? It's fine. Then if someone brings in a new television and puts it next to your old one, you're like, wow, my old TV is shitty, but I didn't realize it because I didn't have a good one for comparison.
But yet at the same time, like when at RIT, we had a god-awful television.
Oh, it was god-awful. Good goddamn.
This TV was from 1974. And I think we've talked about the TV, but I didn't say, suffice to say, I almost did, but I didn't. But it was so awful, but we never noticed, except every now and then we'd look at another TV and like, but then as long as we didn't see another TV, after about a week, we'd forget, and then the old TV was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we didn't look at a color test, because then we realized that red wasn't red, and there was no green.
Yeah.
But, so the part of my car that was broken, right? The only part, other than the fact that I still can't imagine how I was missing a lug nut. Like, I was missing a lug nut.
Yeah, well, if you're not missing more than a few, then you won't really notice.
Where did it go? Who took it? I have not.
Maybe the last time a tire came on or off, it just,
But the last time I took a tire off, I took it off, and I put the tire back on.
Maybe you forgot it.
You can't forget a lug nut, because you look at it and you go, wow, there's a lug nut missing. There's only 5 of them. They're big. Anyway.
Well, if they get loose also, as you drive, they could, spin off. If they're not on there super tight, and you keep driving and driving and driving, it's going to come off of there.
The other thing is, where did it go? Because it was behind my hubcap.
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe when they took the hubcap off, it sort of fell to the ground. They didn't notice.
Maybe someone they took my hubcap off. They stole a lug nut to make a crack pipe.
A lug nut does not make a crack pipe make.
I still can't figure out how you'd make a serviceable crack pipe out of a... Anyway.
A spark plug?
Spark plug.
Yeah.
Hey, crackhead.
I'm sure there's a website. Let's see. How to make crack pipe. I'm actually typing this in from spark plug.
That's like what badgers eat.
Crack pipes. The idea is to cover my motorcycle with crack pipes. What? Okay. I don't know what's up with that.
Anyway, so the only thing that was actually wrong with my car was that the thing that controls the headlights... Now, actually, it's only one thing that controls the headlights, the hazard lights, the turning lights, the brights, everything.
It's a stick with a bunch of switches on it.
And inside is all... it's modular. I didn't really realize how it all worked, but they had to replace it. And you couldn't get one from salvage, so I got a new one. And... it's so nice. Like, I was turning my lights on and off all the way home.
I shouldn't be doing that.
It's silent, too. It doesn't make any noise. When I, move it, it doesn't click. It's solid. It was so nice. And they gave me the old one. So I learned that because this new one cost $160, I'm going to open up the old one and fix it, then sell it on eBay or something.
Maybe.
I could probably sell it for at least $80.
But how would you know if it was working?
It's actually pretty obvious. I can show it to you. It's in my car right now. You'll be like, oh, duh.
All right, whatever.
But yeah, that's the most exciting thing that happened to me today.
Oh, it's funny that your thing that happened to you today involves cars, because last weekend, the weekend of March 14, 15, 16, etc., was a special weekend for cars in 2008.
Oh?
It is the weekend of the Australian Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix of the year. So today, I have 2 newses involving cars and a thing of the day involving cars.
All right.
So you want me to go for these newses?
Go for it. My interest in F1 and racing in general waxed and waned, and it's real waned right now.
Anyway, Gran Turismo 5 is coming.
All right. I got to say one thing before you continue, because I don't know what you're going to say, but regardless of how the game plays, I'm not one to say, oh, graphics make a game, but that game looks freaking amazing.
I was about to say, I'm not, I do not buy games based on graphics. I do not judge games based on graphics.
Well,
but,
beyond the obvious limit of I can't tell if that's Mario or a smudge on the TV.
right, but you look at the screenshots and videos of Gran Turismo 5, and I thought it was just race footage or like the open. No, it's actually that's what the game looks like. Good God.
I've wanted a realistic racing game pretty much for as long as I've known that there were cars. Like, seriously. And the thing that always stops me is that even the realistic ones, like Gran Turismo, most people play them with like an Xbox controller. And that's not going to do it for me. What's the point of realism if I got an analog stick?
Yeah, I really have a hard time playing these games in general. Like, I like the idea of like Gran Turismo, but actually trying to play it, I always just spin out and crash. Because there's, but in the arcade, and when I got the wheel and the pedals, I rock and roll. So anyway, I'm not exactly sure what the deal is because there's a game called Gran Turismo 5 Prologue coming out, and it's not just like a demo. It's actually a game you pay for, and it's got over 1 million pre-orders in Europe already. It's crazy. But I don't know, is Gran Turismo 5 going to come later? Or what? I don't know.
Some game journalists we are.
Yeah, but I can't really figure it out. I tried to figure it out. I can't. What I was able to figure out is that Gran Turismo 5 is going to have one of the cars available is going to be the 2007, F1 Ferrari.
Huh.
This is being called God Mode. I stole that from Kotaku, but whatever. It's funny.
That's too good. That's just too good.
Yes, that's all I got to say about that. Now, my other racing news, which is something we can actually talk about. Mario Kart for the Wii is going to be out in like a month or so, which is too soon. Too soon. You just put out Smash Brothers.
God,
I mean,
I haven't even gotten to the second tier of goodness at Brawl.
I know people complain that Nintendo will release a game, then have a big drought of no games, and then release a game again.
Never complain about that,
But
you assholes.
If you release a game too soon after another game, I won't be done with Smash Brothers, but I'll have Mario Kart, and that'll be frustrating. I'll have 2 games at once. It's
now,
no good.
Some of you might make the argument, which is true in some cases, that, oh, well, you old men with your podcasts and your jobs don't have the free time that us college kids do, so as a result, you need more time. We're already done with Brawl, but I point out that when we were in college...
Brawl lasted us like 3 years.
Well, Melee.
Yeah,
Like, Melee came
right.
out, and there was pretty much one continuous game going on, being handed off controller to controller at some point in our apartments, pretty much for as long as we were at RIT.
Yeah. But anyway, this Mario Kart Wii that is coming out is going to have little plastic steering wheels and whatnot, and, whatever.
Am I going to have to take my DS? Well, not my DS. It's not a DS game. Am I going to have to waggle the stick back and forth so hard that my hand hurts continuously in order to get good scores?
In fact, my news is that you will definitely not have to do so. The Mario Kart Wii will have no snaking whatsoever. It'll actually be a game of racing skill, where the longer you hold your power slide, the bigger a boost you will have when you let go.
That is so hardcore, because that's the most fun.
I think that is what the intention was, I think, in the DS one. It just, the way they programmed it, like, by holding a boost longer, you would get blue, but holding a slide longer, you got blue sparks, right? But you could actually, the way it was programmed, you could actually do multiple boosts and go faster. You could actually do boosts on straightaways. I don't think that's going to be possible, at least from what Nintendo says in the Wii version, which I think is actually going to be great because, you're going to be steering by, twisting the Wiimote back and forth. You're not going to want to have to do multiple boosts per turn. That's going to hurt a lot. And I think this is great because, it's finally the first time since the GBA Mario Kart, my favorite Mario Kart, where there's no snaking, there's no, it's a decent game, and they're not going to have, it's not going to be cheating like, Mario 64, Kart 64, and it's not going to have some gimmick like the tag team stuff of Double Dash. It's going to be a real Mario Kart, and I'm all about it. Oh, yeah. Everyone get Mario Kart Wii.
All right, Scott, just so you know, I'm not going to get into this, but all the information about Gran Turismo 5 Prologue is on the Wikipedia about the game.
No, but what, is that Gran Turismo 5?
No.
So what's Gran Turismo 5?
Gran Turismo 5.
So what's the difference?
Gran Turismo 5 Prologue is the precursor to the planned Gran Turismo 5. It's basically Gran Turismo 5, and Gran Turismo 5 is Gran Turismo 6.
See, it was not easy because with the naming and is it a demo? Is it just a preview? Is like Gran Turismo 5 just gonna be this game with more stuff?
Quote, this short version title is a precursor to Polyphony Digital's bland Gran Turismo 5. Gran Turismo 5 Prologue features 16-player online races, over 60 cars, 14 tuned cars, 5 tracks, 7.1 HD sound.
That sounds like a whole game to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a prologue. Anyway.
Well, apparently there was a Gran Turismo 4 prologue that was released everywhere but the United States 1 year before Gran Turismo 4 came out.
Oh.
So
see,
the rest of the world, yeah.
If I would have known that, it would have made a lot more sense. But the 5 prologue is coming out in the U.S.
It looks like Top Gear is going to be involved in this with some sort of
their track is in the game.
Episodic content.
See, actually, this really isn't a bad idea, this prologue thing, because what you can do is, some video games take a long time to make, right? And every time, and you want to take your time to make it just right, especially when it's such a big project like this, right? But if you take too long, you're not going to make any money because you're going to spend all this money developing, and you're not going to make any money for years and years and years, and the game finally comes out. Yeah, exactly. And also, people will be like, oh, delays. With this sort of prologue thing, what you can do is you can make a game, you can sort of put out more than a demo, but less than the full version for amount of money, sell it to finance the further development, and so it's not really, I can kind of go for that.
Hey, actually, they're going to support a really, really good racing wheel, it looks like.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to...
Are you going to buy a PS3 and an HD TV, 2 wheels, and this game?
You know what? It almost would be worth. I have to try the game first, but I'll say
it's only like $5,000.
My whole life, right? I've always wanted an ultra-realistic car simulator because I'd love to be a crazy good driver. And imagine a video game that is so accurate that practicing on it is tantamount to practicing real car. Also, then I can try out cars that I will never own in my entire life.
Yeah.
The only thing it really would lack is the whole feeling the car around you. Of course, I could get that Initial D thing from Japan.
Well, why don't you try that Live for Speed thing?
How much money is that?
I'm not sure, but it's like
probably more than a PlayStation 3.
It's a really fancy PC racing simulator. Like, those fancy PC flight simulators? This is sort of like the same thing, but for racing.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. This game, I don't think I'll get a PS3 for it just yet. But if you have a PS3 and you like racing games, one, you should get this game. More importantly, if you get this game and you do not have a good racing wheel, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, seriously, who plays a racing game with an analog stick, especially a realistic one?
Live for Speed is $47.62.
All right. Is it good? Is it perfect?
It's a really fancy racing simulator, much like the flight simulator. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'll have to look into this business.
Yeah.
Not that I play PC games anymore.
You're going to buy a wheel for the PC, right?
I would, if it was good enough. I'll look into this.
All right.
I can boot into Windows about half the time.
Okay.
The other half of the time, Windows won't boot.
All right. You got a news over there?
Oh, yeah, I got to do a news. Well, there was no gaming news I cared about, and Scott did 2 news, so I'm going to do something crazy. I got a GeekBite here.
Oh, no.
Now, there's been this mod for Counter-Strike, this zombie mod, and it's one of those really good idea, really poor execution, really hacked together, only fun once or twice and then gets real old. Well, we wondered, why didn't anyone make a zombie mod for like Half-Life or Half-Life 2 or something?
Well, actually, I was just, I wanted to play an FPS really badly, so I started looking for, mods to play.
Thus, Zombie Panic! Source. It's actually not at all fun yet and barely playable, but they're working on it, and a lot of the concepts in this thing are real good. And as long as they
It's better than the average mod, but it's not great. Yeah.
As long as they continue to work on it, it'll be good. But then again, I'm not too, I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence because this has been around for years, and if it's
been around for years, but the source one is much newer than the non-source one.
In 2006, Zombie Panic Source was picked as one of ModDB's top 100 unreleased mods of the year.
Yep.
Wow, in 2007, it was marked again as an unreleased mod.
Over 100 unreleased mods.
That says something.
Yeah.
But they began development in 2005.
All right.
And the game is fun, but it really doesn't work at all.
Well, it works. It just doesn't work super well.
Yeah, play it more than once, and it ends up being not fun.
It depends.
Every map is broken. If you don't play objective mode, the game's just completely broken.
Oh, yeah, you need to play objective mode. Or
Half
else...
the objectives just don't work, or no one knows what to do. All the controls for managing ammo are really,
Controls
really
for managing,
fiddly.
that's really annoying, I gotta say. It's the number one thing that's wrong with
Yeah,
it. Is that...
here's the cool idea. The game starts out much like the game Vampire Tag, in that one player is a zombie who can infect or kill, and everyone else is just some human with a gun and very little ammo and maybe some melee weapons. Now, I'll point out, so I don't have to say it again, the melee weapons are designed as all FPS melee weapons are. They're awful.
Yeah, I mean, some of them can do some pretty big damage, but try hitting with them. Good luck with that. Especially, you don't want to hit with them because the zombies only have melee attacks. So trying to go after a zombie with a melee weapon that's not pretty much on the brink of death, it's a guaranteed death for you.
It's totally not fun because
the melee weapons are used for breaking things.
The melee weapons are no better than the melee weapons in the goddamn Ninja mod for Quake 2. And if anyone else played that, my hat is off to you. But that aside, the hammer was the best weapon. But anyway, so other than that, you find guns. There's shotguns and AKs and all these different guns. And every gun takes a different kind of ammo. And you can drop individual specific amounts of different ammo from different guns to give to other people. You have
Right,
to
so like
manage
if I have
all of this.
Like if I have a rifle and I have lots of rifle ammo, but I pick up some shotgun ammo, I don't carrying that around makes me walk slower. It burdens me, so I want to get rid of it. So you have to move this little arrow up and down and then push a button to drop your shotgun ammo. It's really annoying.
And while the sort of resource management survival mode thing is really cool, it's almost totally mitigated by the fact that the way it's implemented is fiddly and completely non-fun.
I think the real problem with this sort of zombie survival game, right, is that it plays in rounds that are like Counter-Strike, It's like play around, as, many FPSs are wont to do, and as the engine is sort of designed to do. But a survival game really has to be sort of long and drawn out.
What I would do to make this good is
eerie.
Have objective. Well, this game has all that. It's just, it's not that fun yet. What I would do is I'd make a game like this where the goal is simply survive for the humans and kill for the zombies, and there's a million ways to do that. But it's basically, how long can the humans hold out? And then you switch it up, how long can the other humans hold out? And
it's not bad.
Yeah, you want to get it to the point where eventually you will run out of all your bullets. Eventually, the zombies will get you. There is no way to win as the humans. It is only how long do you hold out.
It's not bad.
Like defending a house, infinite horde. I can think of a million ways to do it, but I don't want to get bogged down in the specifics.
What I was really looking for was some sort of co-op mod. Like, I wanted it to be like me and Rim versus a bunch of AI zombies.
And the problem is, Scott yells at me, "Oh my god, I found this co-op zombie mod. Let's play it." So we put all this effort into getting it.
It said co-op zombie mod. It was lying.
Yes, it's not a co-op zombie mod.
It's a team zombie mod, not a co-op zombie mod.
It's just counter zombie as opposed to, yeah. Anyway, it's worth playing once or twice. They really need some
if
help.
you've got Half-Life 2, it's free, right? So why not?
Well, it takes, like 20 minutes to download it and get it set up, and then you'll have to learn the controls. And the one cool mechanic I like is that humans are real slow. And
humans are actually, if you're not carrying anything, are the fastest.
But
if you're uninjured.
They're pretty much real slow because you're going to be carrying stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, there is zombie panic mode, hence the title of the mod. You hit a button and your guy panics. He drops half the stuff he's carrying and starts going, oh my god! But at the same time, he goes stupidly fast and you can run away.
Yep, and mostly you get much faster because you dropped a bunch of stuff.
But also, you just get faster, and the speeds of everything are really finely tuned in this game. I feel like they put more effort into that than into the rest of the mod.
I think that's a very important thing that it's good they paid attention to, because the zombies having only melee weapons, right, which is their hands, the speed of the players and their ability to move is everything, because if the human can move faster than the zombie can never catch it, and then that's a stalemate and it's stupid. But if the zombie moves faster than the human, the way the zombies work with their regenerating health and their lots and lots of damage with their melee weapon, then the humans have no chance. So you have to, really finely tune how speeds are affected by different things and such to make the game work out.
Yeah, the only other thing I can say is that natural selection probably, as a mod, has the best noob-friendly environment in the history of mods. If you join a natural selection server and you have no idea how to play, pretty much everyone on both teams will help you. Zombie Panic. This game is not noob friendly. Everyone is going to be a cock to you. They're just going to be yelling at you because you don't know what button to hit, or you don't know where the objective is, and the game doesn't tell you at all.
Yeah, learning the maps is really hard and annoying, and it's like
Yeah, don't expect anyone to help you when you play this game, but luckily you're not going to want to play this game very much. It's not great.
Speaking of natural selection, I just went to their website because you mentioned them.
Yes.
They've put out the 20th episode of their podcast.
Did they say in that episode that the new natural selection is going to come?
No, they say investment received. They secured investment from partners.
There's only one possible. Well, no. There are 3 items of news in the gaming world that could come out that would be better than that. The first one would be Natural Selection Source is out and playable right now.
It's not going to be Natural Selection 2, I believe is what it's going to be called.
Whatever. A new Natural Selection comes out. I guess 2 would be Tribes 2 put back together, re-released, and now available for playing online.
Whatever, Natural Selection 2, I predict will come out by 2010. If it doesn't come out in the year 2010, then I'll be wrong. And it'll be the new, and when it comes out, it will become the new greatest online FPS. And maintain that title for years.
If that game ever comes out, it's going to be
that is my prediction.
Natural Selection is so good. If you have never played it, go play it. People still play it.
Didn't we do an episode on it?
I'm pretty sure we did.
All right, let's do things of the day now.
Okay. So, things of the day.
That was quick. You got a thing of the day, or you want me to do mine?
I guess you can do yours.
All right. My 2 newses are racing related. So here we have a ad. Yeah, I know it's an ad. It's annoying. For a car, specifically the Pontiac something or other. I don't even know. This ad is the coolest ad for a car I've ever seen in my entire life.
It is very rare to run afoul of someone out there in the business world, in the marketing world, who was tasked with making a bit of marketing, who got it. That's the only way I can put it. Who gets it.
This is the only ad for a car I've ever seen that actually somehow, I don't know how, but some psychology, something unconscious in my brain, it kind of makes me want to learn. Maybe I want this car.
The fact that it includes actual footage from the original game, and then it goes back to that at the end with a little explosion. I think this is the best ad ever made.
Maybe. You should see this ad if you're a geek of any kind of video games.
Now, if you're watching this ad and you don't know what the game is,
you suck.
No, it's more that you're a lot younger than us.
And you suck.
So, what game was this ad?
Do we have to tell? I think people should know when they see the ad. Telling them would be sort of like,
Let me tell you. I'll say this then.
That's like being like, this is a Square class.
If they made a movie about this game, it would look exactly like this advertisement.
Oh, and there would be no actors except for cars.
I would go see that movie in the theater.
Yeah, just cars, no people.
Hell, if that ad were the trailer for the movie, I would go see it in the theater.
I'd go see it opening night, pre-ordered, wait in line. Okay.
All right, so speaking of old games, what if you took an old Nintendo cartridge and made something out of it?
People do that all the time.
Like a crack pipe or something. I don't know.
People do that all the time.
Well, we found something. Scott found this. We kind of swapped things of the day around here because we really wanted to talk about the Spy Hunter thing.
And we thought it would be very interesting if I had all racing things.
Yeah, and I also spoiled it. Spy Hunter, Spy Hunter, Spy Hunter. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone turn an NES cartridge into a harmonica. It's such an obvious and good idea. And maybe someone has done it before, but we found this, and here it is.
It's so ironic because you would blow into your NES cartridge, but now blowing into the NES cartridge produces music.
However, putting that NES cartridge in does not make a game come out.
No, it doesn't. It's okay. I think he used Tecmo Bowl. He probably still has Super Tecmo Bowl, so he's okay.
Right, so what are we going to review tonight? I mean, we've been doing video games lately and board games and such and role-playing games.
Well, we didn't play enough Smash Brothers yet, so maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, well, also, we really have to get the fullness of that game, and you all I don't think anyone wants to hear, oh my god, I'm playing it, Meta Knight something, blah, blah, blah. You want to hear a real kind of in-depth review, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, plus, seriously, anyone who's going to buy the game has already bought it. I don't really see the point in doing a review, except, I guess, there'll be people in the future when Wii's are cheap. They'll be like, "Huh, what Wii games do I get?" And it's like, it amazes me how many people ask us like, "What DS game should I get?" It's sort of obvious. Like, I don't know. It's obvious to me anyway. Like what the big hit games are.
Oh, it's obvious to you, the person who played those games.
Yes, because I buy them. Anyway, all right. So today, I guess we'll talk about the Professor Layton. Right? How much have you played?
I've got 998 pickerats.
Well, how many puzzles did you complete?
I don't know.
Oh, I beat the whole game, but I maybe left a handful of puzzles.
I haven't really gotten to the point of getting any information about the actual mystery of the game. But
well, see, that's the thing about the first thing I tell you about this game, right? Is the game is sort of a plot combined with puzzles, and that's pretty much it, right? And the plot is these mysteries. And at the beginning of the game, there's a mystery, and then you kind of solve that mystery.
Well, we can spoil that. Oh my god, the cat ran up. We got the cat.
Yes. Then,
it was right there.
As the game goes on, they add more and more mysteries, and they never solve any of the mysteries.
They even have this little screen. They're like, you've unlocked the mystery of the dead body or the mystery of the scary thing, and you'll pretty much unlock all the mysteries, and then at the end, they'll all get solved.
Only at the end of the game, you just sort of solve like a whole bunch of you solve all the mysteries at once, pretty much. The thing is, even though I didn't solve the mysteries in-game, until the very end, which is how it's supposed to be, I solved them in my brain, like when I had around 40 puzzles complete. I figured out everything. Basically, the story is... I'm just going to summarize the basics of the story here.
Well, before you summarize the story, we should summarize what the game is. The game is half an anime that you watch, and you unlock pieces of the anime by solving math problems.
Some of them are math problems.
Or
some
logic
of them
puzzles.
Yeah.
Some of them are visual puzzles.
Some of them are visual puzzles.
Yeah, but usually they're visual puzzles that are solved by logic.
Yes, usually. And yeah, you've played puzzles. You've probably done puzzles like these before in your life, like
especially if you were in like the math Olympiad in middle school.
Yeah, you ever done the puzzle where it's like there's three sheep and three wolves, right? And you got to get them from one side of the river to the other. If there's ever more wolves than sheep on one side of the river, then the wolves will eat the sheep and you'll be screwed. And you have to put at least one wolf or one sheep onto the boat at a time in order to, in order to get it to go across.
Yeah,
it can't cross the river when it's empty.
My dad's twice as old as my mom, and my mom is 4 times as old as my brother, and my brother is 2 years older than me. How old is the dog kind of problems?
Yep, or I have 12 matchsticks.
I have 12 matchsticks.
Fuck you. Or like, it'll be the matchstick ones are like, look at these matchsticks are arranged in a way that, draws 4 squares. Move only 2 matchsticks so that there are only 3 squares instead of 4 squares.
One thing I got to say about this game is that you expect a certain kind of level of sensibility from Nintendo games, and the game looks a little bit like cutesy, like this is going to be a very wide audience, kid-friendly little game, but it skirts the edge a little more than you'd expect. I mean, I remember one of the puzzles, it's a really hilarious puzzle, is doggy, and it shows there's the doggy made out of matchsticks. Gets run the fuck over by a car. What's he look like now? Move 2 matches.
I love that puzzle. That was like, I got that puzzle right away. But meanwhile, Rim and someone else I know both had wicked trouble on that puzzle.
Well, no, the only trouble I had was the first time I was like, I know what the dog looks like. So I drew the dog squashed, but I angled one of the matches wrong. It was like, no, you're wrong. I'm like, And then I drew it again, angled right, and then was like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's one thing I was very careful to make sure all the things were like.
After I got
exact.
that one puzzle wrong, I was like double careful on everything else.
There was one puzzle, right, where it's like, here are 5 playing cards. And then it was a logic puzzle, like, this card comes before this card comes after that card, this card is, not third, that sort of puzzle. So I moved all the cards are sitting there in slots, so I moved them all around, and then I pushed submit, and it said, you're wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm right. I had to put them in different slots. There were another set of slots that I didn't see. Because if there was another set of slots, why did it let me rearrange the cards within the slots that they were already in? As opposed, it's anyway. But yeah, it's fun. If you like solving clever little puzzles, like if you like doing, you buy those puzzle books in the store. I don't know how popular they are now, but I remember before, the portable video games were awesome. You would go to the store and you'd buy like a book of word search or a book of crossword puzzle, but they had the other ones that were like book of logic puzzle or book of, acrostics. Or
this game is for you. Good God.
If you like those things.
But then again, at the same time, if you're really into those things, you've seen every one of these puzzles before.
Or some similar puzzle before.
Yeah, but then again, there's the nice benefit that you might have seen similar puzzles before, but the puzzles are actually really, really, really varied. And on top of that, a lot of the puzzles are set up such that the game uses the fact that you are on a video game console so well in that, like, the classic puzzle of I've got 3 pitchers that hold different amounts and I have to get the liquid.
I love those
amounts.
are my favorite ones. And the problem was I did all those pitcher puzzles like right away and then there were none left.
Yeah, but doing those on paper in like the math Olympiad when I was a kid sucked.
It's like I've got 1 pitcher of water and it has 10 liters. I've got a 3-liter pitcher and a 5-liter pitcher.
How can I get 2 4-liter pitchers?
How can I get two 4-liter pitchers? It's like, but this, it lets you actually pour the water from one to the other, and it's mad fun. Mad fun. I love doing that.
Yep.
I could just do water pitcher puzzles from like now till the end of time. Also, like weight puzzles where it's like here's a scale and here's a bunch of weights.
Yep. Oh, that one was it's one of the really early ones too. It's like here's 8 weights. One of them is lighter than all the rest. You can use the scale twice. Which one is it? And the cool thing is, I was curious how the game worked. So
it randomized them each time.
I tested that to be sure. I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, they're uneven. And then I kept doing it, and the sides kept switching. I'm like, yep, they don't let people cheat. How awesome is that?
It's pretty awesome right there. You actually have to solve the puzzle. You can't just sort of go by luck. I mean, there's some puzzles where you can go by luck. Like, there'll be a multiple choice, like A, B, C, D, which is the odd one out. And if you choose wrong, it'll say you're wrong, and it'll take away picker-ats from you. So it's like, it really encourages you. I mean, you could just be like A, B, C, D, and you'll get it right by process of elimination.
Some of the other puzzles you're not going to because it's just like, what's the answer? And you just write a number.
Yeah, it's really good at recognizing what number you write, too.
Yeah, God, the handwriting recognition in this game is absolutely fantastic.
Well, because it only has to recognize, like letters and numbers, and it puts that little grid there, and it's really smart.
Yeah, of course, the one thing that was really, really smart about this is when they want you to type in like your name in the beginning, it always asks you uppercase or lowercase, which, just from a programming perspective, makes it 1,000 times easier to recognize characters.
Yeah, like how's it going to recognize uppercase or lowercase c? That's really hard. Really hard for a computer to do.
And it does recognize the way I write 2 and 4 as opposed to the way some other heathens write 2 and 4.
I think also the way that it presents the input interface for, writing the numbers and letters in, it really sort of encourages you to sort of write them carefully and neatly. There's like a little, there's like a cross, and it's like, okay, so I put the top right of my letter in the top right box, and
yep.
And
actually, I think carefully, though I've written just in like one corner and it works just as well.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does. But it encourages you to write neatly.
I think what also encourages you to write neatly is the fact that Layton is so gentlemanly and neat and precise that you'd feel bad about being all scribbly.
Yeah, you would definitely feel bad.
Layton is so cool and he's such a badass.
So here's the story of the game, right? You've got
I have 12 matchsticks.
I have 12 matchsticks. You have a guy named Professor Layton, and he's all British.
Take like Sherlock Holmes, remove the pretension, and add like lady killer and civility and just consummate badass.
Right. And he's got a little assistant. What's the assistant's name?
I already forgot. and I play the game. I was playing it like an hour ago.
Little kid who's dressed in blue.
He's really funny because
He's kind of funny. And the game has actual like animated video cutscenes that are like
fully voice acted.
And the voice acting is pretty good, except personally, like the voice acting is high quality. It really goes well, but whenever you beat a puzzle, the character, either Layton or the kid, is like, you know, they say something like catchphrase, like, you got it, or like, yeah, I solved the puzzle, or every puzzle has an answer.
I think my favorite one is like logic and reason win the day or something like that.
Yeah, I like that, but hearing them over and over and over, they got a little bit, you know, because there weren't enough variations of the success voice acting that it sort of got a little annoying hearing the same ones over and over. I don't know, just me maybe.
See, it didn't bother me at all.
It bothered me. Anyway.
Of course, then again, the
voice acting in the videos is just fine.
Yeah, it's great. And I'll just say the soundscape, the sound design of this game is absolutely amazing. The background music is interesting enough to where you'll probably find yourself playing this game with headphones or with the sound all the way up. Even after you've been playing the game for hours and hours and hours, you've already heard all the music.
Right. So Professor Layton and this kid are driving their car to this town in the middle of nowhere. Professor Layton received a letter in the mail about someone had inherited some monies.
It's a very Lupin the Third kind of plot.
It is a very Lupin the Third plot, without the stealing, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a Cagliostro-ian plot.
Kinda, yeah. It's like,
oh, there's the treasure, but is the treasure what you think it is? The treasure is my only daughter. The treasure is the historical record of the city that was buried. Whatever.
Yeah, it is a very Lupin plot. You're right, but he goes to this town and he's like, oh, there's an interesting plot. We must uncover it. And basically, he goes to this town and everyone in the town just asks him to solve puzzles all the time, which provides the game.
Yeah, and also people are disappearing.
Yeah, and also people are disappearing.
Or getting murdered.
And all sorts of things happen, and you sort of go around solving puzzles, and the more puzzles you solve, the more the plot is revealed to you. And that's pretty much the game. I'm not going to reveal more of the plot than that, because that would just... what's the point of playing that?
Yeah.
But it's a halfway decent plot. The only thing I found wrong with the plot was that I figured out the rest of the plot about, like, a third of the way through the game. I said... basically, the town is fucked up in some way, but you can't... it's like the town is weird and something is wrong, but you don't know what, and they don't tell you what until the end of the game. I figured out what, and I was right way early on. It's not hard.
I'm curious if I'll figure it out at about the same point Scott did or not.
Well, I figured... I looked up in the corner when I figured it out, and I had about 50 puzzles solved, so...
I'm nowhere near that, so.
Okay. But yeah,
I haven't done anything yet. Pretty much, I got to town, saved the cat, some dude got axed.
Okay, yeah, no.
And I've been ignoring the plot and pretty much searching the game for every possible puzzle I can find, just completely ignoring the plot.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it wasn't hard to figure out the plot. But yeah, I guess that's the whole game, right? It's the kind of game where you'll buy it, you'll play it through once. Maybe if you really like it, you'll go through and try to find all the puzzles you missed, because you can miss puzzles, like, because you sort of have to click on the screen to find the puzzles. So some of them you might not click on, and you only have to beat like 70 or so puzzles to actually beat the game, you know? So
yeah, but the game definitely does have a little bit of that adventure game, point and click, walk around, look at stuff, and maybe this game will be a very slight step toward games like that coming back in a big way on the DS.
Maybe. There's gonna be a sequel to Layton already, and I'm gonna get it no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you have a bunch of friends, I'd highly recommend, just because, this is what you do, one of you buy the game, beat it, and then just pass it around. There's no reason to own it after you've beaten it.
Yeah, well, there is one reason to own it after you've beaten it, and that is there's a download option. And
the weekly puzzles.
Basically, you connect to the Wi-Fi, and it'll download one new puzzle every week. I think they've already made all the puzzles. It's just they sort of, I guess their server, delivers new ones weekly. So you connect. If you connect now, don't worry about missing puzzles, because it'll download every weekly puzzle that's been released so far, so you'll be all right. And the weekly puzzles are just as good as the in-game puzzles. There's just more of them.
Now, if you're one of those people who, your parents have a DS, or you want to get your parents a DS, you pretty much want to get them a Sudoku or something, because a lot of people like that, and like Brain Training and Cooking Mama, and this game.
Yeah, this is the game to get people who are not mad gamers. The only thing wrong with this game is that it's a play through once and you're done game, and maybe play a little bit more. Redoing the puzzles is, at least, if there was another picture puzzle, I could do it. But if it's the same picture puzzle again, it's like, okay, I already know the answer. It's a waste of my time.
But I mean, at least even if because some of the puzzles, I mean, they're so varied that some require logic and some require just algebra. And if you're not good at algebra, you will have a hard time solving them.
Oh, one more thing is that some of the puzzles, I disagreed with the wording of them. Like, there's one that says something about, don't make a mirror image. And I came up with the answer, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the answer they're looking for, and I was right. But I claim that answer was indeed a mirror image, what they specifically said not to do.
Yeah, I haven't run into anything really big like that yet.
Yeah, there's also some of those, like, trick word puzzles.
But I love those.
Like,
the one that's like, how many candles are left after blah, blah, blah.
Fuck that one.
I got that one right on the first try in like 2 seconds.
Oh, that was actually, of all the puzzles in the game, I had the hardest time with that one.
Really?
Yes.
Literally, I look at it, I'm like, oh, duh, beep.
That one was.
You know what? This is the best part of this game. You realize.
The reason
when you
the
play
reason that one got me is because, okay, I know the answer is not the obvious answer, right? It's some clever answer. And I came up with a clever answer, but my answer was more clever than their clever answer. So there's no way I was going to get their clever answer.
I don't think your answer
because I had a cleverer answer.
What was your cleverer answer?
I forget.
I'm curious because I don't think there was a cleverer answer.
I forget.
There are 3 answers depending on how much you thought about it. I know that much.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It does make sense. They're right. I was wrong, but damn, fuck them on that puzzle.
But this is why this game is really fun, because you're going to play through it and you're going to get some puzzles like that, and some puzzles are going to totally just wreck you. And your friend's going to play it, and they are invariably going to wreck every puzzle you had trouble with, but they are going to have had trouble with all the puzzles you wrecked.
So far, that's the case with us, at least.
And it's that will bring so much fun. You can all call each other stupid for weeks and weeks and weeks after you all play this game.
Here, I'll tell you one of the here's an example of a tricky word puzzle, right? It was actually the most recent download play puzzle, so Rim hasn't heard this one probably. So, an astronaut lands on a planet, right? And there's all sorts of creatures living on the planet, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, right? And so he decides he's gonna count them, right? And there's so many green ones, and there's so many red ones, and there's so many purple, and they give you all these numbers, like there's 2 red ones and they multiply at this rate, and there's so many green ones and they multiply at this rate. It's gonna take it. He's gonna stand there and count for this long. How many will there be? Like how many aliens are on the planet? And the answer is 1 because he's the alien. He's on their planet. And I got that immediately, and it was sort of boring. But that's
actually one really good one that I liked was the one about bacteria in a jar, and what if you start with 2 instead of 1?
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
There's a bunny one like that too.
Oh, good. All you need, anything can be accomplished with the power of love.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, this game is fantastic. I have very little bad to say about it at all.
The only thing is the game only has 3 save slots, so if you actually want your game to be saved, you can only share it with 2 other friends.
Yeah, but what do you care?
I don't know. There's also some unlocky stuff in the game, like character sketches and whatnot. It seems kind of eh.
Yeah. Now, on that note, there's not much more to say about Layton. Reviewing a game that's good, it was great. The graphics are fine, and the sound is great, and the game is good, and you should buy it. Thanks.
Yep.
We could do a final thoughts, but that would just be, the plot was blah. Wasn't that great?
It's a decent average plot, better than a lot of other plots, but not like some epic plot you'll remember for your entire life.
Yeah. So I think we'll end it there, but there's something we've been meaning to do for a long time, and I'm going to start doing this every Tuesday for a while.
All right.
I'm sure all of you are gamers in some stripe, and you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm sure many of you who've listened to Geeknights long enough are familiar with the Burning Wheel.
Burning Wheel.
Basically, we're going to run for the next several weeks. Now, I know that this is not advertising. We've not been paid in any way. In fact, at best, we stalk the the person who makes Burning Wheel and his friends.
You do.
Yes, I do.
Not me. I'm just chilling.
But Luke Crane, the man who made Burning Wheel and continues to work on Burning Wheel, and if ever there's been a person who would be described as a rock star of role-playing games, it is this man. And I would contend that Burning Wheel is the best role-playing collaborative storytelling system in the world. And we play it now in the Front Row crew, and pretty much what I want to do is remind everyone every week for a while that if you have any role-playing bones in your body, if you even think you like Dungeons & Dragons, or if you hate Dungeons & Dragons, because the demographic applies regardless, you should buy the core books to Burning Wheel because it will revolutionize your world.
I didn't even realize there's a third printing, and we have actually an older printing. I feel like buying the new printing, even though it's like, this isn't even change. This is like D&D is like 3.5 is sort of a significant change. 4 is a significant change, right?
Scott and I are people who, when D&D 3.5 came out, we kept our old books forever.
And then I bought the 3.5 and then barely used it and regret buying the 3.5.
Yeah, but we kept the old books to the point that we had a lot of rules wrong and we just refused to upgrade and didn't care.
And there was a big difference. The difference between the new printing of Burning
like
Wheel and the printing
58.
we have is like a handful of errata.
It's like
and
page 58 has another
should,
word, and the advancement table is slightly skewed.
I feel like I should buy the new books, even though it's just some errata is fixed.
But seriously, I have to point this out because I know a lot of you out there hear us talk about Burning Wheel every now and again. If you haven't, if you're a new listener, go find the episodes on Burning Wheel. We've done several of them. And I cannot recommend to you enough, buy Burning Wheel. You will never play Dungeons & Dragons again.
Unless you suck.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geeknights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via audio. Just click the link that says Send Me an Audio on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.